Taylor Swift has had many relationships throughout her professional career as an artist, and in this video essay, we will dive deep into the boyfriends she has had and how compatible or incompatible she was with them. Why she may still be friends with some while she may not talk to others, how are the different personalities and zodiac signs related to these relationships, and how Swift has a tendency to stay with incompatible boyfriends while she may dismiss the compatible ones like Maddie Healy or Jake Gyllenhaal. First of all, we have to know that Taylor Swift is a fire Sagittarius sign, and just like many other Sagittarius, she may owe her popularity to the time in which she was born. Let's take, for example, Britney Spears or Christina Aguilera or even Miley Cyrus, all Sagittarius. And overall, artistic fire signs seem to work well with the music and entertainment industry. Take, for example, Madonna, a fire Leo sign. Now, the Zodiac offers us a look at the personality of the people. Disclaimer, it is not about predicting your future. And even though the horoscope part of newspapers and magazines has given the Zodiac a bad name, identifying a person based on their Zodiac sign is nothing far from someone doing a personality test or deciding if you are a type A or type B personality. Of course, you are who you are because of your genes and the way you were brought up. Nature versus nurture, right? But your sign and the placement of the planets when you were born also affects you. How? Who knows, but cultures like the Egyptians knew it. And we do, after all, base our clothing, what we wear, and our crop cycles when we plant seeds and harvest on the position of the planet in the universe at a given moment. So, Taylor Swift is a fire sign, and it can be said that the people she would be most compatible with would be other fire signs such as Sagittarius, Leos, and Aries. But it is not so simple. In life, all of the people you relate with influence you, from your father and mother to your siblings to your friends, co-workers, celebrities, people you admire, neighbors, and strangers to, of course, your romantic partners. And guess what? All of them have a zodiac sign they belong to. So it is not as easy as saying, well, since I am a fire sign, I will only relate with other fire signs because we are compatible. Because to start, your father or mother may not be compatible with you, and even if you are not compatible with them, your relationship with them is still influenced by your signs. And plus, we must also consider that you may get bored of being around people who are just like you all of the time. Humans need certainty first, but also diversity second, according to Tony Robbins. Sometimes you may even be more compatible with signs that are incompatible with you. So, even if Taylor Swift is compatible with other fire signs, she may want to experience the stability of earth signs, or the fresh ideas from air signs, or the emotional sensitivity from water signs. Each element has its own purpose, and they all bring something to the table, as do individual signs in particular. So we will start at the beginning with Taylor Swift and her first relationships as we break down just how compatible she really has been with her past relationships and how that idealism contrasts with the reality Taylor has experienced with her boyfriends. We will also look at how that may have influenced the music she was making at the moment of those romances. Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius, which makes her an instant great artist and entertainer. Sagittarius are highly creative, expressive, happy, and optimistic, spontaneous, and can at times be aloof, disconnected, prone to impulses, and they are inclined to adventure for the sake of adventure. They incarnate and manifest freedom. All of these qualities seem fine, but with certain elements, it is not so fine. We start with Joe Jonas. Joe Jonas is a Leo, so Taylor is super compatible with a Leo because Leo is also a fire sign, just like Sagittarius. But Taylor Swift seems to not like compatibility so much, as we will see. Joe Jonas actually broke up with Taylor Swift when she wasn't that famous yet. Why did Joe Jonas break up with Taylor Swift? Well, they dated for around 3 months, and Joe broke up with Taylor in a 27-second phone call. That is, he didn't face her. There was drama, and seeing how fire signs are prone to it, this breakup had a lot of it when they broke up. Currently, it is rumored that they may be friends or at least be neutral, so we may see a kind of fire compatibility, still getting along as friends relationship even after the breakup with signs like this. Taylor Swift was even seen with Gigi Hadid and Joe Jonas when Gigi and Joe were dating after Joe and Taylor had their relationship. This type of thing can happen because socially fire signs aren't that serious and they can let bygones be bygones. This Leo-Sagittarius compatibility was high, but it was short-lived, probably due to the Leo in this one, seeing as how he didn't want anything serious with Swift after all. Lucas Till, star of X-Men, is next on our list, and he is also a Leo. Again, this relationship based off the Zodiac compatibility is a high compatibility, but this relationship was also short-lived. They actually broke up because they preferred to be friends. That is, the same element energy is high in the sense that they get along, but as it is known, there are about 9 types of love, and even though you may feel friendship or brotherly affection for somebody, you may not be romantically inclined with that sign. Taylor Lautner is third on the list, and he is an Aquarius. Both Sagittarius and Aquarius are masculine signs, so they are more compatible with each other than with feminine, earth, and water signs. Sagittarius is a fire sign, as we saw, and Aquarius is an air sign. Disclaimer, many people confuse Aries with air and Aquarius with water due to the way the names sound, but this is incorrect. It seems that in this relationship, Lautner was head over heels for Swift, which seems kind of weird because fire signs are supposed to be more emotional than air signs, but they did stay friends after their breakup. Swift felt bad and was even seen to regret her decision in her song Back to December. Aquarius tend to look for ideals they can cling on to, which may be what Lautner saw in Swift, since Sagittarius is a very fun and lovely sign. Both Taylors, 10 years later, during her release of Speak Now, met along with Lautner's wife, who is also a Taylor. It makes sense because masculine signs don't really have a tendency to hold grudges or feel resentment after years of something that happened. It is rumored that Lautner may be the person that has loved Swift the most, and the eccentricity that Aquarius tend to display would vouch for this type of behavior from Lautner. John Mayer is next on the list. This relationship was short and the age gap was noticeable, with Swift at age 19 and Mayer at age 32. John Mayer, who is a Libra and also an air sign like Aquarius, was criticized for this behavior with Swift. Libras tend to be in love with love, and this was also a high compatible relationship, seeing as how both of them were masculine signs. So we can see that up to here, Swift has only been with fire and air signs, which are more compatible with her than, say, feminine signs, which are water and earth signs. Why doesn't Swift have lasting relationships with her more compatible signs? Could it be that overall masculine signs like fire and air signs struggle with commitment, even if they are compatible with each other due to their nature of spontaneity, fun, and adventure? The next one is Jake Gyllenhaal. Both Sagittarius, there would seem to be a tendency that they were perfect for each other. I mean, who is more compatible with you than someone who is your own sign, right? But we all know the drama that happened with Drake. They were never photographed together, and it is rumored that Jake broke up with Swift over a text message. Many songs in the Red album made by Swift make reference to Jake, the most famous being All Too Well. Why do Taylor Swift's relationships with masculine air and fire signs such as Leos, Aquarius, and Sagittarius signs not last? Why didn't it work out if this was a Sagittarius compatibility? It could have been due to the same type of vibe. I think that with same sign compatibility, you either go along great or don't get along at all. This goes for friends, family, for just about anybody. You are, after all, the same. So if you don't like that person, you just won't like them ever. And if you like them, then it will all be good. Connor Kennedy is next. Also a Leo and fire sign, Swift and Kennedy were photographed together. This relationship ended in friendship, and it makes sense seeing that both Swift and him are fire signs. It is interesting how she starts off with 2 Leos, then goes through a kind of air sign stage, then returns to Leo through Sagittarius. Next on the list is Harry Styles, who is an Aquarius. Kind of like with Taylor Lautner, who was also an Aquarius, this type of Sagittarius-Aquarius relationship has a lot of potential. And we can see that when she was with Harry Styles or thereafter, Taylor Swift made what could be arguably her most famous song, which is Shake It Off from the album 1989. Taylor Swift was also aged 25, which is the age when many artists are at their peak, just as well as how Albert Einstein, 25, and Isaac Newton, 26, made their greatest contributions to their fields. This is because as you go through life, you go through stages, and ages 22 to 26 is your Aquarius stage, which is when you get radical and come up with some new and fresh ideas. Calvin Harris, who is a Capricorn, marks a zodiacal change for Taylor Swift, and it is interesting to see, as well as it makes sense that it happens precisely after a relationship with an Aquarius. This relationship marks a Taylor Swift who may be in the beginning of wanting to get serious about relationships. This is potentially the first romantic partner that Taylor Swift has who is not a masculine sign. We can say that now she descends into the more emotional, serious feminine signs. We can see this just by how long it lasted. It lasted 15 months, which is way longer than any of the other relationships she has had. There was even talk about marriage. It is rumored that Swift may have cheated on Harris, which could make Swift the villain of the story for the first time, as it is said. Capricorn is a serious sign, the manager of the zodiac, if you will. Capricorn is an earth sign, so they are very calm, patient, and practical. Earth signs and fire signs make lava, yet they may not mix very well in the end. Fire signs are too wild and adventurous for earth signs in general, and it requires a lot to be able to effectively commit to an earth sign. Harris was even rumored to be vengeful as to contact Kanye West to collaborate with him to make music against Swift, but maybe his Capricorn elegance didn't allow him to go through with it. Next on the list is Tom Hiddleston, who is the third Aquarius, and it is actually rumored that Swift cheated on Harris with Hiddleston. This makes sense because even though Aquarius is a very strong sign mentally, they are prone to taboo and to a rebellious attitude in relation to societal expectations and standards. It is worth noting that ever since Harry Styles, through Calvin Harris, and up to Tom Hiddleston, Swift has had major Saturn energy influence. Saturn is Chronos, which has to do with the father symbolism and order. So it makes sense that after all of this intense energy moment, she may have needed to rest. After Tom Hiddleston, Taylor Swift may have had the most serious relationship she has ever been in with Joe Alwyn, who is a Pisces. Swift has never been with a water sign before, and she started dating him at Swift's lowest emotional point when a phone call came out of her speaking to Kanye West and confirming her participation in the music video Famous. Swift came out with Reputation during that time, and she may have descended into the watery depths with Alwyn, who she was also with during the pandemic when we were all locked away in our houses due to COVID. This relationship was basically kept in private. Fire and water do not really mix because either fire makes water boil or water turns off fire. It looks like in this relationship, water put out fire for some time, and Swift was kept away from the mainstream for this time. This relationship lasted almost 6 years, and as it was previously said, it makes sense that after her third intense Saturn energy relationship, Swift wanted something quiet with a Pisces. Quiet, but I didn't say calm. Water signs are highly emotional, and who knows what happened behind closed doors. But after that relationship, Swift broke out of her water cage and she started to date Maddie Healy, who is an Aries and a fire sign just like Swift. And it is ironic because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac and Aries is the first. So Swift came out of her last relationship from the last sign to go into the first sign back again into the zodiac cycle. Kind of like what happens when we all turn 30 years old. So both fire signs and compatible. It was actually Jack Antonoff, Taylor Swift's musician, also an Aries, who brought them together, and this makes sense. Up until now, Swift has been with 2 of the 3 fire signs, but this is the first time she dates an Aries. It didn't work out and was short-lived as all her relationships with masculine signs, whether they are fire or air signs, but it is something new because it seems like ever since she dated Calvin Harris, she has been with different types of signs and not only sticking to the Leos and Aquarius. The last on our list as of December 2023 is NFL football player Travis Kelce, who is a Libra. Swift has dated Libra before when she went out with John Mayer, so it can be inferred that the same thing will happen this time as it did before. It will probably be short-lived because seeing as Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius, she is not inclined to long-term committed relationships, at least not while she is young. When she was with Joe Alwyn, she was pretty much inactive, and seeing as how Swift is a star, she needs to be active. In other words, as of right now, serious long-term and committed relationships haven't favored Swift. She prefers to be with masculine signs, seeing as how feminine signs will anchor her down, and anchoring down is something that free Sagittarius actually fears. Who knows if the next boyfriend might be a Leo or an Aquarius? I mean, she has dated 3 Leos and 3 Aquarius after all, and she is highly compatible with Leos more than with Aquarius. I would bet she ends up marrying either a fire sign or a water sign. Her relationship with Alwyn had to have been serious enough for her to stick around 6 years. It is interesting, however, how Swift went back into the mix of which she had come out of by dating a Libra again. She has only dated a Libra twice and a Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Pisces once. It is not that Taylor Swift doesn't want to be with water or earth signs because the relationships with them will be more serious, and it is also not that she just wants to have fun and short-lived relationships with masculine signs such as air and fire. It is first of all that Taylor Swift is a Sagittarius exploratory sign in every sense of the word, even in the romantic aspects. Second of all, Taylor has tried out different signs. However, she has persistently been with 2 specifically, to which one of them is said she was the most compatible with, which was Tom Hiddleston and Aquarius. Finally, Swift could surprise us again with someone from a sign she hasn't dated, seeing as how she is still very much exploring and working on her tour. She is taking her romantic side easy, but seeing as how the last time she dated a Libra, she dated a Sagittarius thereafter, Jake Gyllenhaal, I wouldn't be surprised if she dated a Sagittarius next, but that is just my prediction. Don't forget to subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments, and explore more on Abstracto. If you stayed until the end of the video, thank you. Next video will be about cómo reconciliar tus dos naturalezas, lucha interna.